Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we've got a late night insight or quick hit video, early impression if you will, on an Terence Hughes. And I was actually going to wait and do a full impression on this when the time felt right. But I did my Terence Hughes live stream yesterday. And while I have Terence Hughes on the brain, I figured I might as well talk about a fragrance that I actually like from him. It's one of my favorites from the house, and it's called Oud. Now, this is a fragrance that I want to say has been gone through a couple formulations. The very first one in 2019, if you go to Base Notes and type in Terence Hughes' brand and look and go to Oud, you'll see an older version of the bottle from 2019. I think that version is no more. The note listing there says leather, amber, Turkish rose, patchouli, Burmese oud, musk, and ethical ambergris, which we'll talk about that later too. This version, I think, is the second version of Oud to make things even more complicated. This is the second version, I believe, which is not on Base Notes or Fragrantica. And so I don't know exactly what the note listing is on the second version of Oud. But if you go to his website, he actually has a third version up. Someone was telling me that he had some sort of issue with one of the big oil houses, so he had to reformulate all his fragrances. I don't know, but it is very confusing. But the note listing on his website is a little bit different. It says rose, sweet orange, dates, raspberries, amber, Thai oud, Burmese oud, benzoin, patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla, and ethical ambergris, which we'll talk about that later. So I just wanted to have kind of a high-level overview about this fragrance. I do own a 10 ml decant. I've given it a couple wears. I'm no expert with this fragrance, but these are early impressions just to kind of share my thoughts. And I want to have just a general conversation about the house because, you know, yesterday when I did my early impressions, or my live stream, I should say, I treated the house no different than any other house. But some of Terence Hughes' fans are a little bit sensitive. And I left some of the comments up so you can go read them. One person called me a male rooster. And another one accused me of having a personal vendetta against Terence Hughes, which is not true at all. If you go back and watch any of my first impression live streams, I treat them all the same. Some have gotten great marks, some have gotten terrible marks. Terence Hughes fragrances just really don't move me. However, and I'll tell you why, but however, this fragrance, Oud, I like. I like the fragrance because even though it has that Terence Hughes, I'm going to call it the Terence Hughes synthetic, because that's what it feels like. It feels like there is a backbone of Terence Hughes' scents, and they all have this similar type of synthetic overtone to them. And so when you basically spray Terence Hughes' Oud, it opens up almost like you're smelling a mixture of like a Parfum de Marly and a Tom Ford Oud fragrance, okay? Is what it kind of opens up to me. It opens up very spicy, and I get little hints of leather. Even though I don't think there's any leather in this version, it does come off slightly leathery, spicy, and with that generic oudy, you know, backbone thing, if you will. Now, if you blindfolded me and said, Ramsey, is there any oud in this fragrance? Any oud? Do you detect real oud in here? I would say no. Absolutely not. I do not. However, if you go to his website, he actually has uploaded a letter from a company called PAL, which I believe stands for Pennine Analytical Laboratories, and where it proves that there is real oud. From a genuine source of agarwood extracted oil. The whole thing is not here, though. He only copied a couple pages. It references like appendixes and all this stuff that you can't find. But at least there is like a, you know, GCMS monitoring supply, I guess, that got done or something. And they do claim that there's real oud in there. Fine, I have no problem with that. The problem I have is more the price and the smell, because he's asking for 50 mil. He's asking $231.69. Why $231.69? I have no clue how he got to that number. It seems like a very strange price. But $231.69 is what it costs for 50 mil of oud, okay? And so I have some experience with oud, the real thing. for those of you that don't know me, I have some oud that Russian Adam sent me, and these are real ouds. They're not, these are just the pure oil, okay? So this is Kinam that Russian Adam distilled himself. This is a Sri Lankan distilled in rose water. This is a beautiful oil. This is Philippine oud. This is Thai plantation oud. And there is a difference between plantation oud and wild oud. There's a difference between how old the trees are. This is Chinese CO2 extract. This is classical Indian oud oil. This is sweet Indian, you know, and it just goes on. There's a bunch of them here. Philippines, Sri Lanka blend. This is a Indian Moroccan. I think it's Moroccan. It could be Morocco, but it has this cinnamony vibe to it that I actually really ended up enjoying. I wore that to bed the other night. This is Cambodian oud, which I also really like. I like the Cambodian ouds. This is sweet Thai. So you get the idea. From a bunch of different regions, different ouds smell different. But in a nutshell, even the Kinam, which smells the least like real oud, it has this particular signature, and just by happenstance, I'm actually wearing an oud fragrance today. I'm wearing Oud Zen as my scent of the day, right here. Usually when I spray, I apply to my necks or the inside of the collarbones, for example, and I will reapply throughout the day. And it's late at night. This is supposed to be kind of a quick hit video. So I've been wearing Oud Zen all day. If you just compare Oud Zen by Areej Dore, or if you take any of my Bortnikovs, or if you take any of the fragrances from Ensar Oud, which I've been starting to get into lately, and if you compare it to something like, you know, Oud by Terence Hughes, it's no comparison. Oud by Terence Hughes falls into the category of something like this, Tom Ford's Oud Wood, or it falls into the category of something like this. Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir, smell-wise, okay? Now, you can get this for 40 to 50 bucks at discounters for 100 mil, which I would probably price value for price. And I wear these, don't get me wrong. These are not just reference. I actually like these fragrances. Look how much of the oud I've used. All except for a drop. See the tiniest little drop in there? And that's it. I've used this whole bottle of Oud Wood, basically. And it's funny because I have 600 fragrances in my collection, and my wife likes Oud Wood on me. That's what she wants me to wear all the time. And, you know, I have real oud fragrances, and she wants me to wear the fake one. So I'm not saying that it's good or bad because there is or there is not oud in there, okay? That's not my argument. My argument is you get this, you know, black oud nor limbinol kind of synthetic smell when you smell the fragrance. It's not that there is or is not real oud in there. It's the smell itself. Now, again, I like these type of fragrances, so I will wear, you know, Tom Ford's Oud Wood. I will wear Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir. But going back to the whole real oud argument, because I know the comments are going to be, yeah, but those fragrances don't have real oud. And so for real oud, you obviously have to pay for it. $231 is a fair price. Well, you can get Ajmal fragrances. These have real oud. This is 1001 Nights by Ajmal. I would highly urge you to check this out if you're on a budget and you want to check out real oud fragrances. You can get 1001 Nights for 60 bucks at discounters, 50 sometimes. This I paid $30 for. This is Mukhallat al-Shams from Ajmal. There's real oud in here. This smells very close to the Night, which is a $1,000 fragrance. Now, you take the Night, or you take this right here, Mukhallat al-Shams, or even you take this, which this leans a little bit more to the Oriental side of things. So imagine you mix some Shalimar with oud, right? It's kind of the way I think about 1001 Nights. But you take something like that, and you smell it, and you compare it to some of the more designer level oud fragrances. You know, compare it to something like Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir. Compare it to something like Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And for me, Terence Hughes' oud falls into the designer oud category. That's just my opinion. I would not put it with the Ajmals with real oud. I would not put it with something like Frederic Malle's The Night. And I definitely would not put it with the top of the line ouds, which are stuff like Oud Zen. If you have smelled Russian Adam's work by Areej Dore, if you have smelled real ouds, if you have taken stuff like this and swiped your wrists, if you've had, you know, experience with real oud, it would be extremely disingenuous to say that this smells like real oud. It doesn't. It smells like a giant synthetic ball compound, you know, is what it smells like. It smells like it is filled to the brim with it feels like it's filled to the brim with synthetics, and the synthetics that are really meant to reach out and grab people. I mean, this has huge projection and longevity and performance, and if that's what you're into, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Like I said, this is a good fragrance. This one I will wear. Some of the things I tested yesterday didn't really, you know, do it for me. Stuff like Onyx or Blue Haze, or none of that was my jam. Oud, and actually the one for me that smells the closest to oud that I've come across is his Tabak. His Tabak feels and plays in the same sandbox as his oud. And I think the reason is just because of his blending and the synthetics that are used. They feel like they're cousins almost. And in fact, I think Tabak also uses oud in the base, if you will. And so when you look at this and you talk to somebody and they say, well, of course there's real oud, that's why it has to be priced here. And I've heard people, now I haven't watched very many videos to be fair, but I have seen a couple, and I have seen a few people that said that this is the best oud in the game. Absolutely not. That, again, just completely disingenuous. I think it's like if you're a watch collector and you say that this Seiko watch that I got for $90 is the best watch in the game, period. It's better than any Rolex or Patek or any, it's better than all of those, you know. It just is. It just shows a lack of, I would say, understanding in the watch world. No real watch collector would hold up their $90 Seiko as the greatest watch. And no serious oud collector would ever hold up Terence Hughes' Oud as you know, the best oud in the game or anything like that. I almost fell out of my chair. However, do I enjoy the fragrance? Do I like it? Yes, I do. I enjoy it. Would I buy a bottle at this price? No, absolutely not. What it dries down to, as it continues to dry, more and more of this patchouli-like smell ends up coming to the forefront for me. Sandalwood, I mean, the sandalwood that I'm used to smelling in high-end fragrances don't have this punchy. This is a very punchy sandalwood. So it's almost like the type of sandalwood that you would expect to smell in like a Le Labo fragrance. And that's where I think, you know, some of my beef with the house of Terence Hughes comes from, because his blending doesn't feel like, you know, he really knows what he's doing. There's a lot of very sharp corners to be had. It almost feels incomplete. You know, it feels like the beginnings of a fragrance, and that's it. It never, you know, there's very little attention paid to from the opening to the mid to the dry down, if you will. And however, that being said, for these type of fragrances, these type of, you could say, winter heavy fragrances that are meant to be in this style, these oud fragrances, you know, these houses have been basically lying to us, is what it comes down to. It just is. It's just how it is. You know, they scrambled to create an oud fragrance over the last 10 to 15 years because it was the new thing, and if it just had the word oud in it, they could triple the price, you know. And the problem is many of these houses that use the word oud have no oud in it. So to Terence Hughes' credit, you know, at least he's using real oud. The problem is it doesn't smell like there's real oud in there. But I have no problem with that because I don't mind wearing synthetic oud fragrances. If he's using real oud, he's not getting enough, I would say. The way that the fragrance is constructed with the synthetics and the oud, it just kind of hides the beautiful quality of the oud. You have no problem smelling the real oud in Oud Zen. Absolutely none. I mean, the oud is right there front and center. Also, the castoreum and all of the animalic notes really work with the oud, I would say, to lift it up. Here, everything else feels like it's kind of overshadowing this said oud, if that's the case. And all I get is the, spicy synthetic quality of that oud accord, if you will. And if you've smelled stuff like this, if you smelled Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir, which again, I like. I like Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir. I like Tom Ford's Oud Wood. If you've smelled this oud accord, which you have, I mean, if you're a frag head nowadays, you know that accord that I'm talking about, right? You'll smell it in Aaron Terence Hughes' oud. Now, to the final point that I need to address, because I just cannot let this slide, and that is the ethical ambergris. All ambergris is ethical because no one's killing the whales to get to the ambergris. You have to understand that ambergris is whale poop. Some people think they throw it up, but most scientists now think they basically comes out the back end. And whenever they eat, a cephalopod or a squid or some sort of, they eat their lunch or dinner and it bothers their stomach, certain percentage of sperm whales, whatever it is, 1% of the population, create this ambergris. It comes out of them and it floats on the ocean. And while it floats on the ocean, that's where the magic of ambergris happens, because as it floats to its destination, off the shores of Scotland or off the shores of Oman or, anywhere that in the world where this ambergris washes up on the sea, it's been traveling for years in the water, bobbing up and down, soaking in the sun, soaking in all of the animalic aspects of the sea. Plus you have whatever the hell the whale ate, right? And so depending on how long it sits in the water, what part of the world it comes from, ambergris is going to have a little different scent profile, right? There is absolutely no unethical ambergris. If you killed the sperm whale and opened it up, you would have black ambergris. And again, 1% or less of the population has it. So no one's out there killing sperm whales for the 99% chance that they don't have ambergris inside of them. It's not that worthy to them. It's not, it's not worth it. That ethical ambergris, if that convinces somebody to buy your product because you put that it's ethical on there, it shows a complete and utter lack of understanding of the ambergris trade at all, right there. And so it's just little things like that, It's little things like that do bother me a little bit. But if I just take all of that out of it, take the fact that it's real oud, fake oud, take what the percentage is, take all of that stuff and just push it all aside and just focus on the scent itself. This is a good fragrance. In fact, if you said, Ramsey, I'm going to give you one free bottle of Aaron Terence Hughes, what do you want? I would probably say oud. I might say tabak, but I would probably say oud. Because this fragrance just kind of, it fills a hole in, it's the type of fragrance that I would want to reach for nowadays. It's the kind of thing that I've been into. I've been really getting more and more into oud, as you can see from what I've talked about. If you are interested in real ambergris, though, and again, I'll make the same challenge that I did with the oud for you. Go check out something like Les Indemodables Ambre Supreme. This is one of the best ambergrisses you can get your nose on. Or go check out Areej Dore. He has one called Atlantic Ambergris. He also has an Atlantic Ambergris 2. If you have a hard time finding the first one, go for the second one. They're both amazing. But when you smell these, you'll know instantly what that ambergris note is, supposed to give you. This is beautiful stuff. Just fantastic. And it's not here. That's the problem. I don't pick up that note at all in the dry down, in the opening, in the I just get that spicy, synthetic, it's not, I wouldn't even call this fragrance a rose oud, because even though there may be some rose in here, I don't get very much of it. Again, and if there is some expensive damask rose, high-class rose oil in here, he's not featuring it prominently in his creation is all. I'm not getting it. I shouldn't have to, you know, dig like a dog looking for a bone to find the note. It should come to you, you know, naturally. That's something that a good perfumer would present to the people smelling the fragrance. And, you know, maybe it's just tough with the ingredients. Maybe it's just tough with the, you know, with the style of fragrance that he's going for. So that's kind of my take. I mean, it's obviously it's a contentious issue. Like I said, his reviewers, the people that follow him, are huge fans of his, you know, to the point where anything you say, I don't know if I made some sort of a list, if I made some sort of a, you know, if I was on like a Reddit sub, if I was on like somehow some of these people that have never been to my channel ever, instantly found me. One day, I just uploaded the live stream yesterday, and they are very sensitive, very, very sensitive. And I feel like if you're going to be in this game, you have to have thick skin. You know, you can't put out a $230 fragrance and say, oh, you can't criticize me. I'm a small brand. Sorry, I'm Aaron Terence Hughes. You can't criticize me. That's complete BS. He is not immune to being criticized. And nothing that I've smelled so far, and again, I have an extensive collection. I would say if I'm not an expert, I am deep in the game, okay? I'm deep in the fragrance game. And there is absolutely nothing that I've smelled from Aaron Terence Hughes that at this point in my fragrance journey would I go run out and buy a bottle. Not a thing. Not even flinched to go run out and buy a bottle. Which is exactly how I expected it to be. I didn't buy this. Someone gave me this. I didn't buy my Tabak 10 ml decant. Someone gave it to me. If people did not give me these, I would have no urge to have this. However, since it is in my collection, would I wear this? Do I wear it? Yes, absolutely I do. There's nothing wrong with this fragrance. I just think it's overpriced. I think it's overhyped. And I think that if you are going to go for Oud for the very first time, and you read all of the stuff on his website, right? And you were like, okay, I'm ready to take the next step from Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir. I'm ready to get some real oud. And then you buy this, and this is what you think it smells like. And you're like, damn, Versace did a pretty good job keeping that oud note in there. Or Tom Ford did a pretty good job. Not knowing, you know, you just don't know about stuff like this. Or the Bortnikovs. Or, you know, the stuff like Ensar Oud. You're not familiar with this type of perfumery with oud is the thing. You know, so you smell something like Aaron Terence Hughes's, oud, and let's say you're kind of taking you think you're ready to take the next step, and you're like, well, shit, this is what oud smells like. It's not true, though. To me, this is not what oud smells like. It's not at all. It's what the synthetic oud smell like, and even though there's real oud in here, you're just getting a synthetic accord. But, do I like the fragrance? Yes. So I said I would review one that I like. And there was some good and there was some bad in the review, but that's kind of my take on it. I mean, the brand is, you know, you have to give him credit for trying to start his own brand and all that, but that doesn't make him immune to criticism. And I think this is, even though this isn't a full review, I'm not calling this a full review because I don't know this well enough to do a full review. I've only worn it a couple times, but as an early impression, that's my take on it. That's my 2 cents. Would my taste or would my review change once I finish this 10 ml decant? Maybe. It's possible. If they do, I'll do a full review. Otherwise, we'll just leave this one up and let's see what type of comments come in on this video. I think I've been extremely fair I did not attack him as a person. One person accused me of attacking him as a person. I'm not attacking him as a person. I am attacking his fragrances. The pricing, what they stand for. I just don't think the value for money is very good. I don't think you're getting very much for your money. But that's just my opinion. And that's what this channel is about. This channel is about sharing my opinion. And, you know, if you don't like it, don't watch. You don't have to watch. There are other channels. There are a bunch of channels, a ton of channels. Actually, the positive reviews to negative reviews of his work is like 10 to 1. Maybe more than 10 to 1. So there's a ton of channels you can watch for the echo chamber if you'd like. But this is my take on it. So I hope you guys have appreciated it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do leave a comment below. I like seeing your faces. Even if you agree or disagree, just, you know, I have no problem with disagreeing. You can 100% disagree with me. That's what I actually want. I want opposing views in the comments. But do it with some class at least, please. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Cheers, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.